Welcome to Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Hidden Story. My name is Kavin Catastrophe, and we are going to be continuing on the Retro CD Explain video. I'm not going to spend too much time on the recap though. Basically, in my last video, I had said that we are going to go over all of Vanessa's therapy session files first, and then Client 46. In our last video, we analyzed Retro CD 1, Vanessa, 39th therapy session. And in this video, we will be analyzing Retro CD 3, Vanessa's 40th therapy session. If you want to learn what we discovered in Retro CD 1, go ahead using the video link, but for now, it's time to begin the story. So this therapy session, we are going to look into Vanessa's past and see how a certain incident truly shaped her mentally.
Hi, go ahead. Sit down.
I don't know you. What happened to...
Oh, we'll get to know each other in no time. I've read through all your files, so I feel like we've been talking for weeks. I feel like I know your dad, too. Bill, right? Your dad's name was Bill? I'm sorry, what did you say?
I try to do what I'm supposed to do.
I know you do. Your supervisor notes that you follow instructions perfectly. Your dad made you follow instructions, didn't he? I'm talking about the custody battle between your mum and your dad. Your dad didn't play fair, did he? He used to make your mum look bad in court. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Do you want to talk about how that felt? I suppose I don't need you to tell me it felt bad to have a parent scare you into saying things that weren't true. He manipulated you. It wasn't your fault. It's really sad. But it's common for one parent to use their child to hurt the other parent. I know your mum after she lost the custody case.
I was supposed to be a good girl.
What happened to her had nothing to do with you. Even though it was your testimony that did it. Was that testimony true? No, I didn't think so. But your dad is to blame, not you.
So Vanessa's therapist has been replaced with a new one, with no warning whatsoever. Vanessa is shocked to see this new therapist as she was not informed of the change, and this therapist is ready to get down to business. I wonder what happened to the first one.
That's a bit sussy!
This second therapist has gotten Vanessa's therapy files of her previous sessions, and at one point, Vanessa had talked about her relationship with her father, Bill. We also learned Vanessa is the type of person to follow instructions perfectly, if it means it will make people happy, and if she believes it's the right thing to do. As she puts it, she tries to do what she's supposed to do. Now, obviously, this is a nice trait to have, but unfortunately, if some people are aware of this trait, it means you can be easily manipulated, which is what her father, Bill, did to her. Bill forced Vanessa to go against her mother in court, and something bad happened to Vanessa's mother during that day that we don't get to hear due to some static. So what happened to Vanessa's mother may not be important to the story, but let's actually try to guess what did happen. So, considering how Vanessa is acting, this custody case was a tragic incident for her that carried her for her entire life. If this was a regular custody case, then the worst case scenario would have been one of the two parents just getting the child. Even if Bill had lost this battle, he probably would have still been able to see Vanessa sometimes, right? But Bill went out of his way to manipulate his own daughter into lying for him just so he wouldn't lose this case. Vanessa, who was a child at the time, probably didn't understand the true severity of the outcome on who would lose. Bill, knowing what would happen if he did lose, manipulated Vanessa, saying that if she does exactly what she's told, then there would be a way for both of her parents to be okay. She, not understanding but scared to lose either of her parents and wanting to be a good girl, does what she's told and follows his instructions perfectly. Whatever lie Vanessa told sealed her mother's fate and got Bill in the clear. Now, due to some static, we never found out what happened to Vanessa's mother, which sucks because I really wanted to know what happened to her. Only because with every little detail I know about Vanessa's life, the better I can understand her mentally, see what really shapes her character. And I tried to see if I could find out what it was, see if Steelwool Studios gave us a hint somewhere, but if they did, I couldn't find it. Although I do find it weird that out of all of the retro CDs, the fate of Vanessa's mother is the only thing that's buzzed out, almost as if to say that someone doesn't want us to know about it.
Interesting.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what happened to Vanessa's mother. After all these years, Vanessa has never forgiven herself for what happened to her mother, even though the therapist tries to tell her it wasn't her fault. She was young, she was being manipulated by her own father. And I have to agree, but it is a weird situation to be in, as even the therapist realizes this, as she says it's not her fault, but in a way, it is her fault. Now, this retro CD actually parallels a lot of different stories. This parallels another character in the Fnaf games, and that's Henry Emily. He too was being manipulated and unintentionally was a part of something horrible. He, just like Vanessa, has never forgiven himself for what has happened. And it can't be a coincidence that Vanessa is also called Tape Girl and that Henry Emily is also called Cassette Man in FNAF 6 Pizzeria Simulator.
It's only now that I understand the depth of the depravity of this creature, this monster that I unwillingly helped to create, as if what he had already done wasn't enough. He found a new way to desecrate, to humiliate, to destroy. As if the suffering wasn't enough, the loss of innocence, the loss of everything to so many people. Small souls trapped in prisons of my making, now set to new purpose, and used in ways I never thought imaginable. He lured them all back to a familiar place, back with familiar tricks. He brought them all together. Are they still aware? I hope not. It keeps me awake at night. I could make myself sleep, but not yet. Not until I undo what he has done and heal this wound. A wound first inflicted on me, but then one that I let bleed out to cause all of this.
Vanessa's relationship with her father also parallels another character, and that's Michael Afton. Just like Vanessa, Michael too did what his father asked of him, and because of this, resulted into something terrible happening. It's only later that Michael found out that he was being manipulated, just like how Vanessa's father manipulated her.
Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I found it. It was right where you said it would be. They were all there. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you. And I found her. I put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now. But something is wrong with me. I should be dead, but I'm not. I've been living in shadows. There is only one thing left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you. I'm going to come find you.
Now, this is great. We are starting to learn more about Vanessa as a person and is getting that much needed character development, and I love it. Now, if you pay attention closely, Vanessa's history with her parents mirrors another story. For you see, history truly repeats itself. This story mirrors the story in Help Wanted. Vanessa tried to stop Glitchtrap because she tried to do what she's supposed to do. She tried to be a good girl, but Glitchtrap manipulated Vanessa into making her split it up into pieces using Vanessa's tape logs, and through those tapes, allowed an innocent beta tester to be taken over by Glitchtrap. Glitchtrap represents Bill, the tapes represents the testimony, and the beta tester represents Vanessa's mother. And, just like the therapist said, can be applied here as well, as it wasn't Vanessa's fault for what happened to the beta tester. It was Glitchtrap. It manipulated her, but it was her tapes that did it. Now, as of this point in the story, Vanessa believes Glitchtrap to be defeated. She has no idea that it has survived and is living inside of a person's body. But, just like her mother, once she finds out, she's obviously going to blame herself for what happened to that person. You know, this whole talk about manipulation and responsibility did got me thinking. I wonder how Vanessa's mother felt after hearing Vanessa's testimony. Did she felt betrayed? Hurt that her own daughter would say such lies? Probably not. I'm sure she was shocked at first, but she probably understood what happened, that Bill manipulated their daughter. But this got me thinking once again, what about the beta tester? Does she know that Vanessa was being manipulated? Does she blame Vanessa for what happened to her? Because of Vanessa's tapes, the beta tester life has changed forever. Yes, most obviously Glitchtrap or the bunny rabbit is to blame, but Vanessa's last tape log to the beta tester was this.
There is a way to kill it. It wants to escape through someone. Someone plugged into this game. That's you now. You have to let it begin the process of leaving through you. Then use the disconnect switch that I've embedded by the main stage. Let it approach you. Let it begin to merge with you. Play the music and flip the switch. That will cause a hard restart of the game and flush the memory, effectively killing it. I hope. I don't know when it will come for you.
The beta tester doesn't know that the tape was altered, and Glitchtrap has no reason to tell her the truth. In fact, it would be a perfect way to manipulate her, let her concentrate her anger onto Vanessa. What if the beta tester blames both Vanessa and Glitchtrap to what she now has become?
Vanny. It is very similar to Vanessa, and also Bunny. That cannot be a coincidence.
When Freddy had said this in Security Breach, a lot of people had took it as confirmation that Vanny and Vanessa are the same person. But that's not what he's saying. If you break it down, he's actually saying that there's definitely a connection. As he says, it can't be a coincidence that this person decided to call herself Vanny, which is very close to another person called Vanessa. Watch out, Vanessa. It would seem that someone is obsessed with you.
Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil! From my point of view, the Jedi are evil! Well, then you are lost!
So I do want to explain my theory when it comes to the purpose of Retro CD3 therapy session. Because of this therapy session, there's a theory going around that Vanessa is or was connected to Elizabeth Afton, because both of their stories sounds very familiar. Vanessa has a father named Bill, and Elizabeth's father is named William. In some cases, Bill can be considered short for William. They both have a mother that we don't know what happened to, and Vanessa and Elizabeth both have blonde hair and green eyes. Some suggest that Vanessa is lying to the therapist about the truth and origins of herself and her parents, and that's an interesting theory, but it's a theory I don't personally believe in. For one, Elizabeth is dead, and I know a robotic replacement is people's go-to, but Vanessa had used a court case that she and her parents participated in using her name, not Elizabeth. Meaning, if someone wanted to confirm her tale, they can do that. And if they can't find it, then everything Vanessa had said during all 38 therapy sessions would be put into question. Secondly, the Fnaf AR emails clearly has Vanessa's age and birthday, and since she works in security, a background check would be needed for her to get the job. And thirdly, in the emails, Vanessa is known to make changes to her hair frequently, as she's complimented by Lewis on her rainbow-colored hair streaks. Hey Ness, is everything okay? I came by your desk to say hi today, and I don't think you even heard me. You had your face so close to the screen that can't be good for your eyes. I know, I sound like somebody's grandma. I waited for a second to see if you would turn around, but it was like you were in another world. It must be useful to be able to shut out the world and focus like that. I wish I can do it. I thought you were on a conference call at first because I heard voices. Ness, if you ever want to talk about anything, I'm always here for you. I thought your hair looked nice today. The rainbow streaks brightened up the office, and the office is always in desperate need of some brightening. Lewis. This could potentially mean that the hair that Vanessa has in Security Breach may not be her natural hair color. As for Vanessa's eyes, the same email also mentions that Vanessa was very close to her computer screen, and Lewis comments that that can't be good for her eyes. So, what if Vanessa took his advice and actually got contact lenses to help with that? Different colored contact lenses. Stereo Studios had released 4 cartoon shorts called Fazbear and Friends on Tour, with each short showing for a split second a secret image. And one of those images is Vanessa, but she has yellow eyes instead of green. Could this be a clue? Is this Vanessa's actual real eye color? Like I said in my last video, Vanessa and Lewis are friends, and while we are able to only see the receiving end of Vanessa's conversations with Lewis, it doesn't mean she's not listening to him or taking his advice. In fact, I find it very cute that Lewis comments how pretty Vanessa looks with her rainbow hair streaks, and in another email, Vanessa orders more of it. I believe someone might have a crush on someone. Next, Vanessa's last name starts with an A, and that's all we have. Because of this, people believe that Vanessa is a secret member of the Afton family. And I get it. The Afton family is the most popular and recognizable family in the Five Nights at Freddy universe. But I have to assume, and I could be wrong here, that the Afton family is not the only family in that world that has their last name start with the letter A.
Impossible.
I know, shocking. I can't believe it either. The madness that I am speaking right now. But another reason why I don't believe she's an Afton is because Vanessa works for Fazbear Entertainment. It would be a huge risk to hire a family member that nearly destroyed your company multiple times. After William nearly shut you guys down, he even created a rival company just to compete with theirs.
Due to the massive success, and even more so the unfortunate closing of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it was clear that the stage was set, no pun intended, for another contender in children's entertainment.
So yeah, I can't see Vanessa being an Afton. Also, speaking of William, Vanessa's father being called Bill, which is short for William, makes people believe that they are the same person. To this day, I don't know why Bill is short for William, but you guys are right. Bill is short for William. But do you also know what Bill is also short for? Bill.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
But even I can't deny that there is way too many similarities and parallels going on here. So much so that it can't be a coincidence. Vanessa and Elizabeth looking the same, while can be explained,
that cannot be a coincidence.
Vanessa, aka Tape Girl's backstory being similar to Henry Emily, aka Cassette Man,
that cannot be a coincidence.
Vanessa's family being similar to the Afton family,
that cannot be a coincidence.
And both Bill and William being manipulators,
that cannot be a coincidence.
There are definitely shenanigans going on here, and that's definitely on purpose. Vanessa's story is similar to Henry Emily, and her relationship with her family is similar to Michael Afton. Henry Emily and Michael Afton were basically the heroes of the Fnaf franchise, and Vanessa is like a combination of those two. And while this does sound like a coincidence, it almost feels like the universe has chosen the perfect person to fight against this evil. Vanessa is Fazbear's Entertainment cybersecurity. Her job is to literally fight against viruses and hackers. And who are the main villains of Security Breach? A virus and a hacker. This is why I believe Vanessa is being built up as the new protagonist of this franchise. She's basically their successor, and just like Michael, knows what it's like to have a manipulator as a father. She is someone who's going to be able to see past all of Glitchtrap's manipulations. The only reason Glitchtrap managed to manipulate her the first time was because she didn't know what she was up against. she didn't know what this monster was. That was his advantage. Once she knows more about this thing, the battle will truly begin. In fact, we've actually seen a small glimpse of this fight played out in Security Breach. It's just we never notice it because it's very well hidden. Allow me to show you a clip from Security Breach that showed this clash of wits played out.
Take a map. Take a map. Take a map.
Out of my way! Gotcha!
Where am I? Look at all this stuff. Freddy? Freddy, are you there? I'm trapped.
I'll bet you think you're real clever, Gregory. Yeah, I know your name. You're in big trouble. This is not the night to be wasting my time. So, you are going to wait right there in Lost and Found until your parents or the police arrive.
Are you having fun yet? Are you having fun yet?
So what just happened here was that Vanessa had captured and trapped Gregory in Lost and Found. Gregory is sure that he's trapped, as he does not have the security clearance at the time to open the door. Vanessa tells him over the computer that he is trapped in Lost and Found and is going to stay there until his parents or the police arrive. Meaning, if anyone was listening, basically a hacker known as Vanny, they will know exactly where to go and find the seemingly sitting duck that is Gregory. But very luckily, or very conveniently, there just happens to be a screwdriver right there in Lost and Found. Like, it wasn't even hidden, it was just right there, out in the open. If you choose not to take it, you get killed. If you do take it, you have a very easy way to leave the Lost and Found before Vanny shows up. So basically, Vanessa just played Vanny. Vanessa is the one that left that screwdriver there for Gregory to use before Vanny showed up. Why would Vanessa do this, you may ask? To confirm her suspicions that Vanny has indeed been listening and tracking her communications. Judging by the clothes, Gregory is not the first kid to have been sent to Lost and Found. Meaning, if someone from the Pizzaplex security would have found a lost kid, which this place is huge, so that would happen often, and said that they left a kid at Lost and Found to anyone through communications, then the hacker, known as Vanny, would basically overhear this and have a free child to go capture and murder. There are no cameras in or outside the Lost and Found, so no one would really know what happened to those kids, if their parents came pick them up or not. This is a technique that Vanny has apparently been using often, and Vanessa is seemingly the first security guard to see past this trick.
You've got a giant view screen that your archfoe can appear on whenever he wants. He talks to you, you talk to him. You don't think
that he could use that technology to spy on us while we were planning our heroic efforts? Blast! The Fiend! How come no one ever mentioned this before?
Because it was obvious.
In fact, I'm kinda wondering if Vanny's been listening to other communications.
Well, we saw her hideout, right? In Phaser Blast? Maybe we could catch her there. If she thinks I escaped, maybe we can surprise her.
Yes, come. Let us end this.
But an unexpected surprise. And by unexpected, I mean completely expected!
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Now, you may be saying to yourself, well, that's kind of messed up for Vanessa to use Gregory like that. And yeah, it is. But Vanny has been doing this for a long time. And in order to stop them, sometimes
The hardest choices require the strongest wills.
But in Vanessa's defense, she doesn't really trust Gregory either.
I found him earlier and locked him up in Lost and Found.
That is great news. He can be returned to his parents.
He can't. Turns out there's no record of him.
How unfortunate.
Now, this is a good thing. Vanessa's keeping her guard up. She's not going to trust a random kid that seemingly came out of nowhere. She's not going to be manipulated, unlike Freddy. But unfortunately, that is the problem with Vanessa's character. How ironic that Vanessa manipulated Gregory in order to get one over on Vanny. Sounds familiar, right? It's what Bill did to Vanessa against her mother. And this isn't the first time Vanessa had manipulated someone. She even manipulated her best friend Lewis into telling her everything he knows about IT stuff, so that way she can manipulate the new video game company into giving access into their systems. Vanessa has become the one thing she hates the most, her father, a manipulator. But she only manipulates people for the greater good. No one is really going to believe Vanessa of the evil that she's fighting against. So using people is her only option. Just like how Henry Emily used us to fight his battles in Five Nights at Freddy Pizzeria Simulator.
Congratulations on completing your work week. We apologize if your situation wasn't presented to you in a completely honest fashion when you first started, but it was important that your intentions and actions be genuine. Here at Fazbear Entertainment, we value fun, family, and food. But more importantly, we value our commitment to atoning for past mistakes and tying up loose ends. Thank you for your participation.
Every time Vanessa manipulates someone, it is to stop Vanny and Glitchtrap. But manipulation is a very shady tactic, and with every manipulative act, Vanessa adds more fuel to the fire of people believing that Vanessa and Vanny are the same person. This is why I don't blame people for thinking they are the same, because Vanessa's actions seems villainous on the surface. In fact, if we imply this new method of thinking with the custody battle between Vanessa's parents, the case becomes a completely different story. We don't know the full story with Vanessa's parents, but a custody battle between a father and a mother, who do you think most likely who would win? Hint hint, there's nothing more powerful than a mother's love.
Great. Now I'm the bad guy.
Bill was going to lose this case, so he had to resort to drastic measures in order to keep his daughter safe. So he manipulated her into lying. Now, a very smart friend of mine told me that the court isn't going to take the words of a child as a deciding factor on who would win. But that lie that Bill told Vanessa to say was so unbelievable that this prompted the court to launch an investigation on Vanessa's mother, and whatever they found, they deemed her unworthy to take care of a child. Vanessa's testimony isn't what got Vanessa's mother to lose. It was her own past that did. The fake testimony was just the push they needed to investigate her. And if you pay close attention to the therapy session, Vanessa's trauma wasn't her being upset because of what happened to her mother. I mean, yeah, it's her mom. Of course she'd be upset. But it seems like Vanessa is mostly upset that she was manipulated. And that's the beauty in this writing. Notice how throughout my video, I made Bill to really look like the bad guy, even though I knew he wasn't. It's because that's how the story presented him to be, the evil father. This is what Steelwool Studios is doing with Vanessa. Everything Vanessa does looks villainous, but once you look deeper, it really isn't. Bill did what he needed to do to keep his daughter safe, and it resulted in his daughter hating him for it. It resulted in him looking like the bad guy. But it doesn't matter. He managed to keep his daughter safe, and that's what's important. Vanessa is now going through the exact same scenario. She's manipulating people to stop her own adversary, and this resulted in people believing she's the bad guy, that she is Vanny. But it doesn't matter. As long as she keeps people safe, people can choose what they want to believe.
It's futile. The world will betray you. Why fight at all? Why risk your life for those who will persecute you later?
If the world chooses to become my enemy, I will fight like I always have.
Although, this is why I say that the universe has chosen the perfect person to fight against Glitchtrap. Thanks to her father, Vanessa knows how to play Glitchtrap's game. She knows all the tricks in the book, and she knows how to fight manipulation with manipulation. And since this is basically a manipulation chess game, she's going to be keeping her guard up on anything suspicious, even a kid with 0 records or a robot that doesn't seem to follow its protocol programming. And I'm not going to lie, this is going to make Vanessa not look so good, but it doesn't matter. She's here to do her job, and she's here to do what she's supposed to do. And trust me, we are going to need someone with her skills and experience who is capable of seeing through all of Glitchtrap's manipulations to win, even if it means she must look like the bad guy.
His name is Gregory. You know how I know that? His Fazwatch kept repeating in your voice. Gregory, are you there? Gregory?
Vanessa, all the Fazwatches sound like me. It is the default voice option.
If you're part of this, you're scrap. Monty will run the shows until Parts and Service can slap your casing on your new endo. Hang out here for a while. I gotta find that kid.
Vanessa, do not leave me like this!
Well, this was a fun video to make. I hope I did a good job showing you guys my point of view of the parallels and manipulation of this story. So, how much retro CDs do we have left? I hope this gets easier with time. I hope you guys enjoyed this, but remember, this is my interpretation of the events in Security Breach. There are millions of theories out there, and all I'm doing is presenting you with my own. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and remember,
there is more going on here than you realize.